Well, I'm going to come over to Bob shortly for the military point of view, but winning hearts and minds in Afghanistan is not proving easy because of the high numbers of casualties killed and injured in accidental airstrikes, as these clips show.
Winning hearts and minds among the people of Afghanistan is top priority, according to NATO officials. But within days of the launch of Operation Mushtarak, a military blunder killed 12 Afghan men, women and children when missiles were accidentally sent into a home. Less than a week later, 27 Afghan civilians were killed and 14 wounded in yet another round of NATO airstrikes. Their convoy of 3 vehicles, which included women and children, was hit on its way to Kandahar province. Some Afghan people say the civilian airstrikes have become the trademark of the US occupation. However, just recently the Pentagon boasted about its new rules of engagement designed to protect civilian lives. Sadly, with more than 50 innocent Afghan civilians killed by US NATO forces since the launch of Operation Mushtarak, those pledges now ring hollow. Anti-war activists in America say that as long as Afghanistan is under occupation, the bloodshed will continue. On March 20th, people across the United States will head for Washington, while other demonstrations will be held in San Francisco and Los Angeles, demanding an end to what is regarded as the occupation of Afghanistan. It seems as the battle to win hearts and minds struggles in Afghanistan, the US military should consider opening another one closer to home, for the hearts and minds of its own people.
Bob, in this age of pinpoint accuracy, how come there are so many blunders?
You know, Yvonne, I don't know. The first incident...
Well, did you have that many own goals when you were in Bosnia? Why not?
The answer is to show real restraint. I mean, I've done 6 tours in Northern Ireland, and we did not use overwhelming force. Actually, once you release a missile, I mean, that is hugely dangerous. The first incident you refer to was an accident, they say. Fine. I can understand accidents. The second incident, where you kill 26 people in buses, that's deliberate targeting. And to me, it worries me, I have to say, that a missile was allowed to be used against something that was not clearly identified as an enemy force.
But who makes these decisions? Where does
I'm afraid
the
commanders on the ground make the decisions, but the strategy for release will come from the top. And I know that McChrystal's intention is to minimise this sort of incident. So I'm slightly worried that the words don't quite match the actions. And there is no answer. So when you say, why do these happen, you defeat me, because actually I think they should not have happened. The second instance certainly should not have happened.
Well, you're saying they should not have happened. You say that this sort of thing did not happen on your watch in Bosnia. Same sort of army, same missiles, same weaponry. Why does it happen? Is Afghan blood cheap?
Well, there you have it. I'm really worried. I mean, this morning I was talking to my wife. My wife, who's a delegate of the International Committee of the Red Cross, and she was saying 16 people, 26 people killed. I mean, that's huge numbers of human beings.
So is Afghan blood cheap, Bob?
It worries me that it might be.
Well,
it worries me that it might be.
I'm not a military man, but I'm asking this. Is there a difference between the way the US forces fight and the way the British forces fight? Perhaps we don't have the technology of the US forces fight, but it's basically individuals standing up and firing at other individuals. Much less chance of civilians being killed. With the United States, you use bombs and you use rockets in order to avoid individual casualties.
I mean, there's one more element to that, as Yvonne was saying, is Afghan blood cheap? As I before said, the Afghans have not been listened to. From this discussion, I'm gathering that the Afghans have been considered as nobody. Nobody listens to them. Their blood is being considered cheap. And the other element, which is very crucial in these bombings, is the wrong people they have allied themselves with. And I talked to Obama. Why? How could you morally justify when you talk about justice and you ally yourself, partner yourself with the most corrupt and human rights violators in Afghanistan. And that element is, they are there for vendetta, they are there to settle out their scores against the previous people, and they are giving the wrong information. What happened in Herat? Who gave the wrong information? It's the same, the human rights violators, these warlords. One crucial element that needs to be looked at very, very critically. Barack Obama is not looking at it. Gordon Brown is not looking at it. And even here at this table, it makes Afghans to just, you know, become really, really upset. Why are we not being listened to?
I think the problem is to try and find people to govern decently in Afghanistan. So you're saying the current regime is corrupt, the current regime is rotten, and not right at, maybe not as bad right at the top, but further down, the warlords are actually committing atrocities. That's what you're saying.
Well, the warlords,
this is the wrong system.
Well, this is what the hearts and minds come.
What's the better system?
Well, this is what the hearts and minds come. This is what the hearts and minds issue comes. When people are getting victimized, their family members being killed, they are not given justice. This is human nature.
Yeah.
You take the law in your hands. That's why I said a lot of people, they join the Taliban, not because they are fighting, you know, a war which they love, they would like to. They have been forced. 16,000 people surrendered in the north of Afghanistan, and they were killed in mass graves. Who brought the perpetrators justice? What are their families doing? Obviously they joined the Taliban, not for the reason. And again, who make them really sophisticated? It's our neighbors. It's the warlords who push them to there. It's the NATO does not give us justice.
You haven't answered my question. My question
I'm coming
is
to your question.
Well, it's taking a long time.
Let me give you a picture of our people, and then I'm coming to you.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Now, the system is very simple. How the Britain is being governed, how Europe is being governed, how America is being governed. Let it for us. We have got political parties, we have got leaders. We have been sidelined. You choose to pick up one person full of CIA around him. You give money to this warlord, give money to this warlord, and bring him and say, just go after them. We political parties with more than 500,000, you know, members of the political party, forget about their family members, forget about their wives who are voters. It goes millions. We're not being listened to. We are being sidelined. Nobody's listening to us. This is the main problem. Remove the warlords from the power, bring them to justice, destroy the incubators of these terrorists around our neighboring countries, and let us grow and evolve through democracy.
Well,
we believe in democracy, and that's the system we are going to have to have for Afghanistan.
Fahim, I'm going to look for a response to that after the break. We're heading to one, and as usual, there's a question. I want to know who said this.
Our friends have fought and bled and died alongside us in Afghanistan. Now we must come together to end this war successfully, for what's at stake is not simply a test of NATO's credibility. What's at stake is the security of our allies and the common security of the world.
Stay tuned for the answer right after the news.